Ghost of Yotei is a video game. The more you know. Subscribe for more breaking news and hot takes. Okay, no, I actually have a little bit more to say about this, believe it or not. Obviously, Ghost of Yotei is a video game, though you would be forgiven for seeing how cinematic it looks and thinking that maybe it's a samurai movie, and then you go and pick it up and you press start, and then you get confused because the protagonist just stood there and hasn't moved in a solid 27 minutes. Maybe it's just the genius of a director that I just don't get. No, it's not. It's a video game. So, what do I mean when I say that Ghost of Yotei is a video game? Well, outside of its dramatic, dark story and incredible cinematics, it feels like a silly little game that doesn't take itself too seriously, and I say that with the utmost respect. Let me break it down into some talking points here, mainly just to stop myself from spiraling off topic, which I definitely will not do. Has anyone played Kingdoms of Amalur? It's a wonderful little game from the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, and it also got a remaster back in 2020. This game reminds me of Ghost of Yotei. Do you see it? If you said no, fair enough, but it's the maps. The maps is what reminds me of Ghost of Yotei. These maps are open areas that let you explore and do things, but are connected together seamlessly, albeit through very linear pathways. Now, plenty of older games did this exact thing. Not every open world game, many open world games have been open for a long time, hence the name open world. But this is very much an older method of creating the freedom of exploration, but funneling you into specific areas and controlling your progression. You know, Breath of the Wild, and you can go anywhere and do what you want. Kind of the opposite of that, but still being considered open world. Very much a more common thing where level scaling was done through the world itself. Lots of MMOs are still structured like this today. However, Ghost of Yotei's map is the same sort of structure, which is especially interesting when it's a AAA open world game released in 2025, and B, the game doesn't use level scaling as far as characters, enemies, or progression. Ghost of Tsushima also had a similar sort of semblance of structure like this, but it was more a singular point of access that would only become available at a specific point in the story. In Ghost of Yotei, you still have the freedom to decide where you want to go and what leads to pursue, but the pathways to whichever area you choose remain linear. Why? Now this is where it feels especially video gamey. Each area is like its own little game, its own little open world. The first, the Yotei grasslands, is sprawling fields and very open exploration, right? Compare this to the Ishikari Plains, and it's much denser, filled with forests and vertical cliffs and hidden caves and secrets. However, continuing to compare these maps, the Yotei grasslands are also quite peaceful and free, aside from the odd Ronin group or outlaw camp. The Ishikari Plains, however, are very much a scolded battleground of the Oni raiders doing, and the region is oppressed by the takeover of the castle looking over the land. These two places alone feel like entirely different settings, or more specifically, like two different levels of a video game. It's like you've just gone to level 2, and you can do the video game things there, but you can also go back to level 1, or just go off to somewhere else entirely if you want. Whatever. It just feels very video gamey as far as the map structure goes, but that leads into talking point number 2, which is the exploration itself. Being an open world game, Ghost of Yotei follows much of the structure that has been established in open world games for many years. You've got your repeating activities to take part in, side quests to pursue, and exploration by means of these conveniently placed grapple points and protruding rock formations that have been so kindly colored white to indicate that you can indeed climb them. How kind. However, in Ghost of Yotei, I love all this stuff. Compare this to most other open world games nowadays, and they'll try to avoid video gamifying themselves to the point that the experience ends up tedious or lacking for the sake of doing something unique. The problem is, most of the time, it's not unique. It's actually more tiring. Ubisoft is a big issue for this sort of thing. I mean, I could have just stopped at Ubisoft is a big issue. As a longtime fan of Assassin's Creed, I didn't want to play the latest entries. Assassin's Creed Shadows feels way too big, and while they've kindly started to introduce the choice of guided mode or exploration mode, it's basically just, do you want waypoints or do you want general directions and wider waypoints? And ultimately, it just still feels too checklisty and arduous. Other games have actually succeeded in stepping away from creating a stereotypical open world game and doing something unique with it. In my opinion, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best open world game created, but because of that, it's also the least video game open world, if that makes sense. Breath of the Wild managed to strike a sort of balance with the complete freedom it offered and being able to climb anything and go anywhere, but it still had your climb the tower to unveil the map sort of system. The exact system that Ubisoft established years ago. It makes sense that every developer is trying to do something new and refreshing, but they actually end up straying further from what makes a video game in the process, and leaving in the bits that don't actually work. Ghost of Yotei knows it's a video game, but there's no minimap, no compass, no waypoints, no quest log, no overbearing collectible markers and question marks. It's just open. It's a video game that you're free to explore. Ghost of Tsushima did the same thing with its exploration, but it remains just as impressive and intuitive here. If you mark something that you want to go to on your main map, or a quest is telling you to go somewhere next, the wind will guide you in that direction. That's it. The thing is, if the rest of the game was trying to avoid being a video game, this method of guidance could easily become overwhelming pretty quickly. Luckily, it's happy to be a video game. You'll explore naturally without the pressures and UI telling you what to do, but you'll find repetitive activities, obvious spots to climb, or encampments to liberate and loot. It's seamlessly and cohesively built with intuition in mind, but doesn't shy away from just giving you fun and satisfying things to find, even if it's the same things over and over again. This is the dopamine that video games were supposed to give us. It's like they took the formula for a classic open world and they just made it wonderful to explore again, instead of piling on new ideas or accidentally creating a chore in trying to draw you in with something like you've never seen before. It's just good, and that's what makes it great. It makes sense, trust me. And then we have talking point number 3 on why this video game is a video game. Still with me? Cool, we're almost there. Maybe. Don't check the runtime. So, I said don't check the runtime. Minigames. We love some minigames. Silly little tasks and activities. Make it a minigame, and my brain is happy. Ghost of Yotei very much leans into this, and it's something Sucker Punch loves to do with their games. Remember the spray paint minigame in Infamous Second Son on the PS4? That was the DualShock 4's Astrobot moment, honestly. Sucker Punch remembers that the PlayStation controller's touchpad is a thing, and I love them for that. In Ghost of Yotei, if you want to upgrade your weapon, then you have to head to the forge, move that controller like a hammer, and do it yourself. Honestly, if Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's blacksmithing didn't have a grip on me, this would probably be my favorite thing. If you want to set up a camp to take a rest, then use the touchpad to spark that flint and steel, and then use the trigger to blow on the flames to give them life. If you thought about Jack Black when I said flint and steel, then you need help. But this is in the script, so I thought about it too. Want to cook some food at your camp? Time to move that controller around like you're holding a fish over the flames to cook it just right. Also, by default, the game settings will actually have a method of skipping these campfire activities after a while so that you don't keep doing them again. Turn it off. Keep doing them. It's fun. I promise. Even the returning bamboo cutting minigame. This is just a classic video game activity. Press all the buttons in a sequence to successfully make the perfect cut. I love it. It also makes me think of that spellcasting minigame from Harry Potter on the PS1. Just classic video game things, you know? God, I'm like Gen Z, but elderly Gen Z. All of this to say that while Ghost of Yotei is very much a modern game with incredible visuals, brilliant cinematics, a great story, a budget that would probably make me cry, and a AAA studio behind it, it's also just a video game. And you know what? We don't get enough video games anymore. Oh man, now I'm really sounding elderly. Anyway, here's me doing a little song with this wolf like it's 2006 and I'm playing Twilight Princess all over again. Cool.
At least she likes my music.